It's the Slapz.
We gon' hit you with
And Trapz radio podcast.
Let's get it.
Powered by the Slap God, C. Austin, the DJ.
I was thinking about, I'm trying to get off the grid at one of my properties and create solar panels.
Right.
Okay. These recreational centers I have, where these recs and all these different facilities that we have. I went to Randolph Vocational Center, where I learned carpentry, masonry, and electrical. So I'm a crafty. That's how I got into real estate. And so those facilities is not being promoted. We need hands-on skills and facilities. One of the rec centers that Coleman A. Young that just
They just remodeled it. Was like 11 million,
yeah,
something
but
like
you
that.
should have stuck
upgrade.
$2 million in there just for solar panels. To have teenagers come in there and build solar panels. We have the summer youth program where we pay kids to do things. It's not as large when I was doing it.
Teaching them a skilled trade.
Yeah, but that's in my 8-point plan. You can go, I'm going to redo the summer youth program and find more funding so you can keep these youth busy. They talking about gun violence and all that. It's no gun violence. It's just situations mentally in the household, families in the household. So if you don't address that, of course you're going to continue to have the gun violence, but they don't want to address that because they want to lock up.
They don't want to address the root cause of the problem.
They want to lock up. They want to clean up Detroit so they can go ahead and stick with who they need to stick in Detroit. Okay? They already cleaned up downtown, pushed out the Section 8 buildings, pushed out the low-income houses and the skyscraper. And big bank take little bank. And so now you got the most toxic zip code in the nation is over in Southwest Detroit. No candidate is talking about that. Marathon's trying to buy all the properties over there. I got a cousin over there getting this property bought from the gas company, Marathon.
Yeah, I got an uncle over there too.
Yeah, and so reason they buying the properties because there's no class action lawsuit, because those same gas companies finance the city council and the mayor. And so you can't get a class action lawsuit because they bought and paid for. So now those gas companies over there buying the properties over there. But it's been toxic ever since I've been a kid. And everybody's over there is deceased. Okay, they unalive those people over there in Southwest, over in that zip code, all right, from cancers. But nobody's talking about that toxic zip code. So, because they bought and paid for. Those candidates are bought and paid for. So if I can wake up the city of Detroit, we're not full of dispensaries, we're not full of liquor stores, we're going to wake up. Mike Duggan came in, your currently mayor came in as a write-in candidate.
And I'm glad you just said that.
I want you to feel that luster and thirst for me. They like, McDonald, won't you just get on the ballot? No.
Now I want you to break that down, Antoine. Now, speaking of this, the second time I heard you say, no, I already was going to ask you, man. Now, why a write-in candidate? First of all, break that down for people who don't know the difference. And why would you decide to run for a write-in candidate versus having the people vote you in like some of our previous mayors?
Because, like I said before, I was campaign manager for Martha Reeves and Wyndham and got him in as mayor. Neither one of those was a write-in candidate. When I seen Mike Duggan get in as a write-in candidate, and I'm from the city of Detroit, and when we got Coleman A. Young, the first black mayor in the city of Detroit of a black majority vote, usually majority of whatever the color is, usually they vote in as mayor. It's just how I usually go, whatever the majority of the ethnic group is. Hamtramck majority over there is Chaldeans and Arabics over there. They have their first Chaldean Arabic mayor over there because it's the majority voting group. And so the city needs a savior. But since they got us asleep, we're not looking for a savior. They want us looking for money. They want us chasing dollars. While other ethnic groups come in as a family unit and build their financial legacy up. Mike Duggan came in as a write-in candidate. If he came in as a write-in candidate and he inspired us as a people to write his name in, I grappled with that for years during his mayorship and asked thousands of people over years, did they write his name in? And I found not one person that wrote his name in as Mike Duggan for mayor. Now you ask the person to the left or right of you when he ran for mayor, did you find anybody that wrote his name in? But I worked for people that worked for his campaign. I found people that worked for his campaign. He hired radio personalities. He hired the movers and shakers in the city and got up to $4 million in donations from the special interest groups, the lobbyists, the corporations that needed him to do what they need for him to do.
They did his dirty work for him, basically.
We need to come in and need us to have the agenda for downtown, restructure that, consolidate uptown, bring the property value down more, cut the red tape through city council. They cleaned out city council. They wanted city council more lean towards what they need them to do, a mayor lean towards what they need them to do. Mike Duggan got thrown off the ballot. Mike Duggan knew he couldn't win over no city full of people and make us go write his name in. He was trying to get on the ballot. But he having residential problems because you have to live in a city where you run. And so it was some sketchy with that, and they threw him off the ballot. Yeah. And so he came in as a write-in candidate. So I met people that worked for his campaign and say he went to, come on now, if only 10% show up to vote, Mike Duggan know he only need 15 to 30,000 to be a mayor of a city. At the time he ran was probably 700,000 people. Okay.
How you feel about him crossing over into politics now?
Well, hold on, let me finish. So Mike Duggan supposedly got everybody to write in. You don't have to get that many people because they make sure they keep us asleep. Okay, they keep us on a nice sleep diet and leave outside the city and put us on a 40-hour, 80-hour, and we just live for the weekend and make sure we got our liquor and make sure we got anything else to keep us nice on this sleep diet. Okay,
we ain't
good
even
food.
Doing that because we working on the weekend.
We working on the weekends to keep us nice with food. Okay, how you have a city in Detroit with all these kids and no Chuck E. Cheese, no Funland, nothing for the kids. And the women ain't even protesting for it, okay? Because they worried about vanity, beauty supply, and beauty supply on every beauty supply place, and something with vanity on every corner, and something with food. So
Speaking
now you
of the women, man, talk to the women, man.
So we don't replace so the queens are so lonely in our city where they got to eat and fill their vanity void, and that's what you have in this city, full of restaurants and full of things for vanity. Nothing for the kids, okay? We have some parks. Yeah, okay, a park. We have a rec, okay. But we have to leave outside the city for the zap zones, the jumper, the go-kart races. We have to leave Detroit. The biggest city in Michigan, we always have to leave Detroit to do something with our kids, right?
That's agree? A fact.
Okay, and
I do it every weekend with mine.
Yep, so, and the people who watch us in Atlanta, California, they don't know we going through this. So this is by design. So we leave out Detroit, we go build that tax base up, all right? And then we make sure we don't get any funding here, all right? When I worked for Wyndham and got him in as mayor of Highland Park, and they was trying to implode Highland Park and dissolve that into Detroit, okay? Meaning that the state said if Highland Park don't get their act together, we're going to dissolve the whole city and make it Detroit. They shut down the high school. They shut down. They had no funding for the police. They had no funding for the fire department. Nobody give loans, right? Nobody's giving loans, all right? All right, because they all work together, right? Everybody works together. They all work together for 30 and 20 and 40 years.
You know, it's often been said Detroiters are difficult. You know what I'm saying? So nobody want to invest in Detroit. They tear everything up. You know, they stealing. A lot of them look at what happened with Kwame, and, you know, they judge. It's a lot of biasness that goes on. You know what I'm saying? How would you respond to that? Just
they don't have any problem with putting Sam's Club right across the border in Warren.
Right.
Those are all Detroiters that are going to go there to spend their money.
On 8 Mile.
On 8 Mile.
But the east side, you just go across 8 Mile.
There's no reason they can't bring those big box retailers down. They have security over there, and we can have security here. The small high-end retailers are down along Woodward Avenue.
Yeah,
and middle class people can't shop there. So no, there's a lot of Detroit myths that are really, really old that have nothing to do with the current generation and such like that. And so it's time to, get to that new page.
Yeah, get to that new page and talk about the issues we don't even know. So they, open up our eyes. If I can open up the eyes of the Detroiters, like you asked me before, why would I go in as a write-in candidate? Because if I can inspire the Detroiters to write my name in, like Mike Duggan inspired Detroiters, supposedly. A lot of senior citizen homes wrote his name in, supposedly. And people had to help the senior citizens, but we're not saying that. But if I can inspire Detroiters for real change, for them, for their kids, inform them how politics work, because it's not politics. This your paycheck. This your 40 hours. This your kid's school. All right. These are your mom. These your grandparents. Okay. I even got it where any property owner that owns a property that's a senior citizen, their grass and their snow get removed free. Okay. that alone alleviates a lot of stuff for a senior citizen living in their house. Because a lot of older people in the city of Detroit will not leave their property. They will not leave their property. You know, I seen it. I witnessed it. I know people like me. They don't want to go nowhere.
Man,
I have
my
to.
neighbor was one of them across the street. She ain't going nowhere.
Nowhere. And so I will have that on there where there's snow and their grass get cut. All right. And the money from that, we already service grass and all this abandoned lot. So they'll just be on the road. And then the summer youth program that when we fund the kids and get them to work, we'll funnel that in. We'll up that with more funding where those kids can go and service those grass. Okay. And then create a snow removal. We already do snow removal as a city. We'll just up the funding for that and create more jobs for the snow removal during the winter. So the kids will be working during the grass because we got to have a system for them to get paid. And we got the summer youth program. We have the system to keep the youth busy, not just for creating businesses and mentorship. Because if you look at my 8-point plan, I'm turning it all. I remember in Detroit where the Detroit police officers had to live here to police us. You can't live across 8 Mile and police us
was a
and
thing,
lock up my dad and go back to 8
information
Mile.
there. Look it up on the thing they call Google.
Yep.
Educate yourself.
Yep. So at one time, I remember when I had my first property and I got on the block and they like, the police officers stay next to you. That's all the neighbors told me. So that neighborhood stayed quiet and peaceful because they always said, it's a cop, stay next to you.
Got a cop 4 houses down.
Come to find out the cop didn't stay there. He owned the property because he had to have a property and live in Detroit to become a police officer. That's cool. That's create the property's not being abandoned. That's less the property's being abandoned.
But you not in the city of Detroit.
That's still cool, but we still haven't one. They found out ways to go around things. Americans do that, let alone Detroiters. We found out ways to go around it. Even though that cop had the property, the neighborhood still had the saying that he would live next door. It was safe. It was protected in that particular block. Now, when companies got in and put their mayors that they want in and their city councils that they want in, because we want 8 Mile, across 8 Mile, the surrounding suburbs, we want those cops to come in and clean up Detroit and go right back out to the suburbs.
There was
not creating tax base here, not creating properties here, not creating safe zones while they live in all these areas. And when they did that, there you go. Statistics are higher, more people are in jail. There you go. Those are the numbers. It's increasing here.
It's the Slapz.
We gon' hit you with
And Trapz Radio Podcast.
Let's get it.
Powered by the Slap God. C. Austin, the DJ.